Welcome back to STL TV Live. I'm Sarah Bernard, and still with me in the studio are Cecilia Nadal with Gitana Productions and Jill McGuire of the Regional Arts Commission. We've been talking about a cross-cultural engagement conference coming up at Webster University in October. So we kind of got a little bit of a teaser. Tell us a little bit more, Cecilia, about what your plans are for that event.
Well, I think the first thing is to talk about why we're doing this event. St. Louis is changing in many ways, and we're not always leveraging that change in a way that our community comes together well. For example, we have about 3% of the community that is foreign-born and coming from places like Bosnia, and of course that's been going on for a little while. Also Somalia, Iraq, Afghanistan, if you can imagine. And so these people are coming and there's no ambassadors to sort of introduce them to the rest of the community. If you look at the flip side, we've got 350,000 poor people in St. Louis that we really have not gotten to know. In fact, St. Louis stands out across the country as one of the places where poverty seems to not be moving at all. We have people with disabilities. I was shocked to know that we have 15% of Missouri residents who have disabilities. That's amazing. So the feeling was maybe what we can do in a conference is help people understand how to navigate and get into those communities, work with people, and not feel afraid to open up to them, to learn more about what they need and how they need it. So this is a conference that's aimed at giving people skills and reaching out to others without feeling like they're going through landmines.
Okay, so what are some of the ways in this conference? Are you going to have special speakers that are going to talk about and help to bridge this? So
the first place we start with looking at this is the workplace. And we have to talk about how authentic diversity programs are within the nonprofit community. If those are not authentic, if they do not reach out in a real way to have inclusion, then it's pretty hard for that to trickle out into the community. So our thought is, let's start with the workplace first and talk about diversity that makes a difference. But at the same time, let's talk about what we can do within the community to have more inclusion with people with disabilities, with foreign-born people, and those that are poor. So this is an inside-outside approach.
So who are you hoping will benefit from this conference? Who are the attendees that you envision?
Nonprofit executives and their staffs. And our hope is that what will happen as a result of the experience is that they will start reaching out to these groups much more than they have.
So October 11th and 12th is 2 full days.
Actually, a day and a half.
A day and a half. Okay, so that's very doable. Take a couple days, a day and a half away from the office. And Jill, in the last segment, you had mentioned some of the speakers that are going to be coming. Can you go back again and revisit some of the highlights of the conference?
Right. Well, we'll open with Howard Ross, an internationally known speaker, but then we have several choices, like a typical conference. Speakers from the International Institute. Speakers from the Asian community, so different communities, speakers from the all of the other kinds of ethnic communities, and workshops around what their experience has been in St. Louis will be offered. And they'll be offered twice, so you can go to different ones. And then if you miss one in the morning, you can pick it up in the afternoon.
Great. So in all of this information, the workshops, the speakers, all is on your website?
Yes. It is,
okay,
yes.
So I want to make sure that people know about that. We'll have that on our screen in just a moment. And here it is, right here. So people can visit the website that's listed here or call this phone number and get all the details about the conference, the speakers, the workshops, and help them make the decision about who on their staff to bring.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. All the registration information. So kicking off though, September 22nd is your little preview of what's to come. So tell us about what's happening on that day.
This is going to be a very interesting day. We try to bring influences from different cultures. It so happens that in St. Louis we have about 25,000 Indians from India. And they have a ritual called the Holy Festival of Colors. And what they do in that ritual is to take these non-toxic, really dynamic colors, and they throw them on each other so that everybody becomes like a rainbow. But the purpose of that ritual is to help people understand that they're one. So it's by the diversity of color that they learn that they're one. So our idea was, let's take that concept And let's bring people from the disabilities community, from the LGBT community, from those who are struggling and trying to get further. Let's bring all this diversity of people in St. Louis together, and let's do that ritual. Yeah. Except that we'll also have music, and we'll have dance, and we'll have food that's there. So it's going to be interesting.
That sounds beautiful. So creating a living rainbow at Strauss Park, which is that little triangle, right? In front of the Fox Theater and Jazz at the Bistro. Right. So that little area, September 22nd, and the time, it's right here on the screen, 1 to 4. And everyone's welcome, and it's free to all.
It's totally free.
So hopefully you'll get lots and lots of people out there throwing colors and becoming beautiful and one with with everyone. So very good. Well, we are so excited, and thank you so much for coming and joining us today and talking about this wonderful cultural diversity that we have in our town and how we can promote that. So I'd love to thank Cecilia and Joe for both being with us today and for giving us all the great information about their events coming up. We do need to take a break. When we come back, we'll learn all about Breakdown STL with Jenna Immergut and Megan Broadfield. And remember, STL TV can be found on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Connect with us, and we'll help keep you informed about all the great events and organizations around the city. And we're streaming live 24 hours a day on STLTV.net. We'll be back with more after this.